Armoire makes getting dressed easy. With a clothing rental membership from Armoire, build the perfect wardrobe with brands that are high quality, unique, and recommended just for you. All you have to do is take a 5-minute style quiz and select items from your dynamic personalized closet. The styles show up at your door in as little as 2 days. Then when you're ready for new clothes, just swap them out for more new-to-you styles. Now, I went on a girls' trip to Santa Fe recently, and I rented all of my outfits from Armoire. It was so much fun putting together a mix of casual and formal looks, and my favorite was this pair of white, wide-legged jeans from Paige that went well with everything. Now, I wouldn't normally own anything white because I can be kind of clumsy, but with Armoire, I just ship it back and they'll take care of keeping the pants in pristine condition. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That is armoire.style, spelled ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today.
Could your daily routine be full of hormone disruptors? There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent-free in our environment right now. In our food, our water, the air we breathe, the clothes we wear, our skincare, they all mess with our hormones. The good news is we don't have to suffer through it anymore because now we have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms of women of all ages. Since I've been using Hormone Harmony, I have felt more balanced, and other women feel the same way. The biggest benefit, they say, is feeling like myself again. That's what women mention over and over in their reviews, and there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today.
Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Krafchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brunch Talk. We're going to answer some of your burning dating questions. And for the first time in a long time, we're also going live on YouTube. So if you want to join for future sessions and ask your questions live, that's what the name implies. It's live.
And you could also continue listening on podcast players if that's what you prefer, or on YouTube at a later time. Whatever works for you, we're here for you.
And the reason why we're doing this is we often get messages from you all saying, I would love some interactivity with you all. Like, are there lives that we can attend or even in-person events? A lot of you have also asked, like, what's going on with the YouTube channel? Are you all responding to comments there? Yes. We've arrived. It took us a while. We've arrived. We're here to stay and we're here to interact.
I wonder if there's like any OGs here right now that remembers this, because for anyone that's listening, the background is that this started off as what? Ask Miss Singlified? Singlified, sorry. Why did I think all these years it was Singlified?
There was a few people that always say Singlified. I mean, I guess it's spelled single.
Yeah.
So like the LE could be singlified. I'm okay with that. It sounds more exotic. Why not?
Why not? It works. We're excited though, because we've been, actually really digging into our quiz that many of you might know about if you've bought the book or you've just heard us talk about it. We have a whole podcast episode about our dating archetypes quiz. And many of you found this really interesting to figure out what is your archetype? Like, what is the behavior and attitudes and the way that you approach dating, and how can that be your greatest strength, but also give insight to what might be holding you back in dating. And we found some really interesting data that we wanted to talk about that actually relates to a couple weeks ago, a brunch talk that was all about like how many people do date at once.
Yes. And we had a lot of differing opinions about this, but I was also surprised because I think when I was actively dating in my 20s, people would say like 5 people
Mhm.
or 7 people or like as many as you can. I'm happy to report that high numbers are not in right now.
No, and I was on the same boat, and I think I was thinking about this more too. It's like when Tinder and all the swipe apps came on the scene, right, in 2012, it was like, oh my God, there's so many options. Let's just rack them all up. And then that led to paradox of choice, burnout,
Yep.
feelings of being overwhelmed. And, when you have too many options, sometimes you pick no one. So I see, and, we've been talking about this and talking about it for a while, that sometimes actually quality over quantity ends up being the better approach, and that we actually don't believe dating is a numbers game.
No, it definitely is not. And when you have too many people that you are balancing, then you don't deeply connect with any of them at all. So it's like you could have dated 5 people, might have been the same as dating nobody at all.
But I was shocked when we looked at the data on the quiz, though, because we have a question around, like, do you prefer to date multiple people? And also one around, do you believe dating is a numbers game? And they both came back as more skewed to strongly disagree, where that was actually a little surprising, because I think it's like everyone thinks dating is a numbers game. That's how it works. But we actually uncover that 72% of people preferred not to date multiple people at once, which I think is really counter to what a lot of people think. Like, everyone assumes everyone's dating all these people and has so many options.
Well, that's the fascinating takeaway is you all want to date less people, but you think the people you're dating are dating multiple people, which then motivates you, or I guess makes you feel like you have to date multiple people at once. I actually think people feel the pressure to date multiple people more than they actually want to.
Totally. We've heard that. And I remember, like, when I was dating, I'm like, well, I know they're dating all these other people. Like, I should also be dating more people. I shouldn't have all my eggs in this basket if they're not doing that. And it is very fascinating to be like, actually, no one really wants to do that. We just want to connect.
No. And I think in the beginning, I guess like when you're exploring, if you're new to a city or you're just got out of a relationship or whatever, when you're in this exploratory phase, I think a lot of people tend to date multiple people. And at some point, there was a question in our Facebook group too. At what point do you stop dating multiple people? And that's actually pretty early on for people, for most people. For me, especially, I feel like I stop dating multiple people when I have a strong attraction towards someone already. I already know who is the person I want to spend more time with.
And I get it. Like, some people are like, I want to hedge my bets. Like, what if they don't work out? I don't want to lose time. And I get that mentality. But then on the other side, it's like the apps aren't going away. There's always going to be a new way to meet someone new. So if you try something and it doesn't work out, you can always go back.
Yes. Absolutely. We had a comment in our YouTube on this video from a few weeks ago, and this person said, I moved to a culture where it's acceptable to date multiple people, but I come from a culture where it's not acceptable. So I always felt like I was cheating on people if I was dating multiple people concurrently. And I think culture does play a lot into this. And we said this on that episode too, is like North America is one of the only cultures in the world that is acceptable to date multiple people at once.
Do you remember, and I apologize to this guest because I'm blanking on his, Kino. That was his name. I do remember it. This was like, okay, that was impressive that memory existed, because that was how many years ago? It was probably a good 10 years ago. Yeah. So we've been doing this podcast for 10 years. This was early on when we were recording in Yue's apartment. We had this really sweet guest come, and it was called A Foreign Way of Dating, because this dating multiple people at once was just so counter to how he'd ever dated before. And it felt so foreign to him.
Yes. And I'm so glad that he actually brought it up. And if you listen to that episode now, it's so relevant to the conversation we're having right now. It just shows you we do stuff in our culture where we we almost overdose on the things cyclical. That are good, right? It's like, yes, we want all these choices. We want all these people. We want to date everybody. And then we overdose. And then it becomes toxic for us. And then we get burnt out. And then we quit that.
Yeah.
And then we simplify. So we're now in this simplification stage of dating.
Definitely, because I think like 10 years ago, probably I would say even up till recently, we've heard of all the stories of, I just think of your friend Brooke that we had on our podcast. And of course, this was years ago when she was dating, but she went on 700 first dates. And she was talking about like how she would have multiple people back to back. And I remember doing that too. Like I remember going on dates, multiple dates in a night to like maximize my time. And I think some of it's just dating burnout, probably the economy, just overall busyness. I just don't think that's like the world we're in anymore.
Yeah. And it's just hard to build connection that way.
It is. I think that's the core of it.
Like you can build multiple connections if there are no other distractions. But now the person you're dating is also competing with Netflix, competing with Instagram, competing with like your whole universe of distractions. So how can you add even more? That's just like impossible in my mind.
And even like outside of just like those type that are more extras, like just thinking about like balancing work and friends and, you know, going to the gym and staying healthy, like all that stuff, like those are like almost jobs in themselves.
Adulting is so hard.
It really is.
Can we take a moment for adulting? This morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to put in my insurance claim because my house was burglarized that Julie was here for and witnessed. So put in an insurance claim, change my dog's vet, book all my medical appointments, and then do my taxes. I was like, this is the most adulting I've ever done in my life. And I don't want to. I'm ready to just take a break.
I don't think we've told anyone about the craziness of the break-in.
No. Yeah. Well, so fun, right? We were like towards the end of our book tour. It was a very exciting time. Julie and I went to dinner at one of our favorite sushi places in LA, and we came back and I noticed my screen door was wide open. Then I noticed that half my closet was kind of basically like gone. And then my jewelry case was open and my jewelry was gone. And then I noticed my bag of cash was gone. So yeah, someone definitely came in and swiped everything they could. We saw a huge ass footprint.
Yeah. I was like, that's
on my balcony.
Proof.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, did I just misplace things? Did I just leave the door open? No, you see a big ass footprints leading into my apartment. So that was not fun. And it's been like a month of trying to get the police over to do a police report and then to file a claim with my insurance adjuster. So yes. How can I have another relationship? Like one is enough. I can't, there's no way I can balance another one.
You don't want to have one with the claims insurance broker?
Listen, if they can help, if they can speed up the process, I'm happy. I'm happy to date multiple people.
Yeah. You're like, in that case, I'll do it. Okay. I did find it interesting though, because like when we started looking at the quiz, and you can also take the quiz for anyone that hasn't yet, howtobedateable.com. You can find out your dating archetype. If you're an energizer, that's like the person that kind of fills their funnel and likes to go on a lot of dates. There's nothing wrong with that. Just want to put that out there. But it was really interesting that of all the archetypes, that was the one that we were trending the lowest on. And we are curious too, like, is it because we're skewing certain ages or we're skewing people that are more intentionally dating for a relationship? I would love for more and more people to take this quiz so we can see how this continues to net out. But this is like our initial findings from it.
And maybe energizers just don't have time to take a quiz.
Maybe
they're too busy dating.
They're like, I have 5 dates tonight. I can't fit
I'm not taking a quiz. No.
Yeah.
30 questions? Oh, hell no. I'm out.
I do think, though, why we did some follow-up, and I think this is in line with a lot we've heard. So it wasn't totally surprising. And we did this follow-up on Instagram. We love doing Instagram polls. So again, if you're on YouTube, come to us on Instagram at Dateable Podcast as well. We did a poll to just, kind of verify this data in another way. And we got back 51% of daters prefer to date one person at a time, even before they define the relationship. 29% said they prefer to date 2, 16% 3, and only 4% selected more than 3.
So again, most people prefer one.
Yeah. And then on Facebook, it was similar. And what the reasons were we did a follow-up too on what was that? Was it just because I can't get a date, or do I feel like it actually gives me a better connection, or do I not have time? And it really did come down to primarily mental and physical capacity. I love this quote from Victoria. Honestly, I find it so hard to keep up when I've tried to date more than one person. I can't remember who I've told what to, and vice versa. I had a notes app going at one point, and if that doesn't take the romance out of it, I don't know what will.
Well said, Victoria.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had very similar sentiments to that they were sending in. A lot of people were sending in comments. People love this topic.
Well, also, I think it's because so many people assume other people's behaviors, yet now we are showing you all, you're all on the same page. Everybody kind of wants to date less people, deeper connections, make space for those connections. Yet we feel like everybody else is dating everybody else.
I want to read one more. This is from Ian.
Please.
I don't have the mental capacity to date more than one person. Definitely isn't a time thing, but I feel like I can't juggle that many emotional ties, or I start getting really confused.
Yeah. I feel you, Ian, for sure. Like we think if we date multiple people, it makes our feelings clear about how we feel about them. But then at some point you just get it all mixed up. And then it's like The Bachelor, right? When at the end it's like, who do I choose? I'm in love with both.
I think feelings of overwhelm was something that came up a lot. Emotional capacity. You know, I can't keep it straight. There were a few comments of I feel like I'm cheating or being disloyal. So it is interesting. I'd love to peel that back more and see if there's cultural ties, but I could kind of see that even if there isn't, like if you're in a culture that the norm is multiple, especially when you bring in, you know, more sexy time and stuff like that, it can get dicey.
More sexy time. Good job, Julie. You know, when you bring in some sexy time.
Are we PG-13 on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe
sure, we can be PG.
We can just say it. Can you use the F word?
Have sex. Fun? The F word?
When you're funning?
When you're funning so hard, how can you fun more than one person? I'm so exhausted.
We always find it, my partner always finds it funny on TV when someone's like, we're boning. And I do think that term, it feels like very high school. It is funny.
It's better than grinding. Like we're just grinding all night. I remember being like that as a teenager. It's like we're just dry humping the whole time.
I remember you saying that in your 20s or 30s.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. The guy I dry humped for 20 hours straight.
I was like, that definitely persisted into your 30s.
Well, I was 30. He was 20. So it all makes sense. All makes sense why it made a comeback. But I was just kind of thinking about this idea of cheating and how interesting that is too, that you also found interesting. Because it's like I remember when I was dating multiple people, and if I asked someone to hang out, like let's say on Saturday, and they said, oh, they weren't available, I immediately jumped to, oh, they must have a date. Or it must be with the other person they're seeing. When it could just be like they're hanging out with their mom, they're with their siblings, or with their friends, whatever. There's like a million other things they could be doing. But I just remember I immediately always went to, oh, it's the other women he's seeing.
I mean, it makes sense. I did love this other quote. I want to read, this will be the last one, but it's from Sonia. You get to know the person for who they are as a whole versus plucking the parts of personality you like in comparison to the others. And I thought that was so dead on and really fascinating, because I do think when you have like all these people stacking against each other, it makes it a lot easier to be like, well, this person is funnier than this person, or this person took me into a nicer restaurant than that person. And you're like getting very like in the minutia and not like the overall feeling of, do I enjoy being around this person?
Also, you just feel like nobody's ever good enough.
Right. Like this person has it here, but they're lacking over here. Yeah.
Yes. And this is a psychological consequence we're seeing now from a culture that dated too many people at once for so many years, that now people are having a hard time finding a partner because they feel like they can pick and choose and put together their perfect partner when ultimately that partner does not exist. But because they've dated so many people with these individual qualities, we have this entitlement of like, I deserve this perfect person in my mind.
Yeah, it's what we call like the settling paradox in our book. And I'm glad that people are recognizing this and moving out of this mentality.
Yes. Good. Good job, everyone. We got there.
I'm really glad we were able to share that, though, because I think it's super fascinating. I want to go into more because we have a really good question of, okay, let's say I have all these people in my pipeline. I don't want to be dating multiple people. I realize someone's not for me. How do I let them down? So I want to go into that question. But before, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors.
Let's be honest. Sometimes, no matter how much you want to be in the mood, your mind and body just aren't on the same page. This episode is sponsored by Via, the brand behind the most loved THC libido gummy on the market, designed to enhance intimacy, heighten pleasure, and help you fully embrace the moment. Originally created as a limited edition Valentine's release, High Love was such a massive hit that Via made it a permanent part of their lineup. For the last 2 years, it's been helping adults enhance intimacy, heighten pleasure, and feel more connected than ever. These gummies are a hit for me as well, as I am so impressed by the powerful blend of cannabinoids and time-tested aphrodisiac herbs. The formula increases my blood flow, awakens my senses, and helps me fully embrace the moment. Now, if you're 21 and over, head to viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE to receive 15% off, free shipping on orders over $100, and if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. That's VIIA hemp.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you. Take your passion and pleasure to a whole new level with High Love from Via. March is Sleep Awareness Month, the perfect time to think about the quality of your sleep and how the mattress you choose can make all the difference. Avocado Green Mattress is committed to providing mattresses that not only help you sleep better, but also are healthier for you and the planet. Avocado mattresses promote better sleep through breathable, naturally temperature-regulating materials, which can improve overall well-being. No harmful chemicals, just healthy materials for a cleaner, safer sleep. And best yet, Avocado's committed to sustainability. Their mattresses are made from organic, eco-friendly materials that are good for both you and the planet. Plus, their mattresses are built to last, keeping more mattresses out of the landfill. Isn't it time to upgrade your mattress for you and the planet? Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better.
Okay, so how do you let someone down then? We had this great discussion in our Facebook group, and it was around how one person went to a speed dating event. Mm-hmm. So it was around, clearly meeting new people to date. You're probably single if you're going to a speed dating event. And one of her friends, she matched with one person at the event, not into them. And her friend was like, just tell them you have a boyfriend. And her question was like, I don't know, it feels like unethical to me. Like, should I just be honest? If so, how do I do it? Clearly he knows I don't have a boyfriend if I'm at a speed dating event.
Yeah, I just think that's the worst. That's the worst reason to give someone when you're at a dating event.
It's like, I have a boyfriend now. It worked.
Yeah, that guy. It was 5 minutes before you.
You missed your shot.
Yeah, taken. Well, I think turning someone down so depends on the scenario. If you're out and about, someone's following you, trying to talk to you or get your number, you can easily be like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. I'm taken. Whatever. Yeah. But if you're at an event and you've talked to someone, you've made somewhat of a connection, or there's some baseline etiquette there that I think you can just be honest, right? I don't really see a connection, so I'm sorry. I think that could be easy. Yeah. Because that's why you're at a dating event anyway, to see if there's a connection.
So I think I've told you about this, but maybe I haven't. In my 20s, I had a borderline stalker. We went on a couple dates. It just wasn't a fit. It wasn't the right fit.
Okay.
And I decided to tell him that I got a boyfriend.
Okay.
Which was not true. But I did not want to see him anymore because I thought this would make it like very done.
Uh-huh.
But he persisted to be like, oh, well, I know that won't work out and let me know when it's over.
Damn.
Because I'll be here. And he would periodically check in every couple months. And like I couldn't get rid of him. And I almost feel like it was better. It would have been better if I was just like honest and been like, this isn't going to work out ever. Like it was like almost this weird like challenge for him or false hope. I don't know. And it was not great for me because I had to like stay in a lie, ignore someone. It was just awkward. It was uncomfortable.
And now you guys are engaged. It worked. It took 20 years.
Can you imagine if that was the
But he
story?
won. He's like, there's a chapter in your book called Perseverance, and damn it, I persevered.
Oh my God, there is a line of perseverance, that's for sure. Personal perseverance, not perseverance that way. How amazing would it be though? You're like, and that is my husband.
How much I wish for that to be the story because I'm officiating Julie's wedding, and how much I wish I could tell a story like that.
But that's never the story. Let's be honest. That's never the story. It doesn't work. And I guess that's the point. Is like just being not honest, like not being honest doesn't really help anyone. It just prolongs things.
I would also say in your situation, even if you were honest, he still may have persisted.
I don't know. I mean, I do remember like my old roommate, her like telling this guy that like she, you know, wanted to stay friends. Like that also, like basically being honest that she didn't see it romantic, but kind of like giving this, I don't know, in, I guess. And at first he's like, cool, let's stay friends. And then he kind of took it, kept giving an inch and like kind of took it as a sign like I still have a chance. So I don't know. I feel like you just being like really dead set and being like, this isn't the connection I'm looking for. Like, I'm sure there's someone amazing out there for you or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Just, it's so much better.
I've learned that when you're turning people down in any capacity, not just romantically, you have to really close the door unless you don't want to close the door.
If you legit want to be friends, but you're not like, how good of friends are you going to be with someone from a speed dating event that like likes you, you know?
No, that's not going to happen. I mean, I've learned this. I belong to this dog mom group in my neighborhood. And this girl in the group randomly asked me to watch her dog for the weekend. And I could have made up an excuse and said, oh, I'm not this weekend, or I have too many dogs I'm watching, whatever. But then that would have left the door open because
she would ask you the next
again.
Week. Yeah.
So I just said, I don't watch other people's dogs, point blank. And so she never asked me again. I think in this kind of situation in dating, we have to be courteous, respectful, but also know for our own benefit, you have to close the door. You just gotta. Don't leave even an inch open.
And the thing is, it's actually the kinder thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it might sting for a second for the person, sure.
Yeah.
But in 5 years, when they are happily with someone else, they're not going to remember who the F you were.
Yes.
You are letting them go instead of keeping them on an unnecessary hook.
Yeah, they could be madly in love with someone right now. You're holding them back. So I don't think my friend would mind if I told this story. So he was out one night.
So tell it. Yeah.
He can yell at me later. He was out one night with a group of girls. They're all getting drunk, whatever. And one girl's like, I really want to take you home. He was not interested. He said, I'm too drunk tonight. And she kept asking, like, let me just take care of you tonight. And he's like, oh, I'm too tired. I want to go home. And then finally she called him. She's like, just come on over. I'll take care of you. I'll make you feel good. He said the first thing that came to his mind, I don't know why, he said, I have diarrhea. And then she was like, just tell me I'm ugly. Like, that's like, I'd rather you just tell me I'm ugly or you're not interested than tell me such a blatant lie. Like, that's like the worst lie for someone to be like, I don't want to hook up with you because I have diarrhea.
Although there was the Sex of the City that he's just not that into episode where the guy actually had diarrhea.
Oh, he did.
She's like, I know it. You're just not that into me. And he's like, no, really, I'm about to shit my brains out. Like, no, seriously.
So sometimes
you might have diarrhea. I almost feel like,
That's
though,
true.
like, okay, even if she didn't catch on that it was a lie, then you have next weekend and the weekend after. And what, are you going to have diarrhea every weekend?
He just has a really bad stomach. every time he
can't keep
drinks.
this going. Yeah.
He has food poisoning all the time.
Like, eventually you're going to have to come clean. Just do it sooner.
Yeah, and then she's going to spread all these rumors about you. Like, dude, this guy
is just...
he's constantly shitting his pants. And you don't want to be that guy.
So here's another question for you, because this came up in the Facebook group.
Uh-huh.
And, one of our moderators, Brian, we'll give him a shout out. He's done a lot of like men's work, and he talks about like how, it takes a lot of confidence to put yourself out there and approach someone. And his take was like to say like, congratulations, like, thank you, like, good job for taking that step, and then kind of let them down. What's your take on that?
I think there's something to be said about appreciating that, right? The ask out or the compliment, but maybe not congratulating. Like,
I agree. It almost feels
it.
a little condescending. I almost feel like I agree. Like, I see the sentiment of it. I think, it's the word choice, and he might not have meant it like verbatim. I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah.
I think if you were like, congrats, good job, like, that would be a little, I don't know. But
good
like,
for you for putting yourself out.
But if you were
there.
just like, oh, that's so nice of you. Like, I really appreciate whatever, being forthcoming or whatever. I think I get the point of encouraging people to keep doing it. Like, you don't want them to stop just because you're not interested.
Yeah. Even in the speed dating example, I think you can say, you seem like a great guy. I really enjoy talking to you. I don't really see a connection, but I know you're going to find an amazing person for you.
Right. Or like, thanks, I'm really flattered. Like, I appreciate you, coming to me and putting this out there. But I don't know, giving the butt is never the...
Yeah, but I have
I'm
diarrhea.
not into you. That's just like the new code word. It's just when someone tells you that.
But I
have explosive diarrhea.
Wow.
When they drop the explosive, that's when you know it's a sham. If it's just diarrhea, it could be legit. You heard it here first.
Oh, it's just diarrhea? Prove it.
I heard on this podcast that's actually...
Whatever, dude. I'll go in the bathroom with you.
Oh,
Show me the proof. Oh, people love it when we talk about shit on this podcast. We noticed. So we'll
do they?
Keep doing it.
But we are curious. We are curious. Like, do you agree? Do you think that like that is a good letdown for someone to, do it sooner? Just be straight to the point. I think sometimes less is more with the rejection. I will always remember the time when I got this long ass rejection text from someone I was not interested in at all.
Nope.
And it just felt so unnecessary. And I was like, all you could have been like is like, there wasn't a connection, like, best of luck. That's all you need to say.
Well, he didn't even have to say that.
No, he didn't. In this case, that's another whole topic of like the double, like if both people aren't reaching out, is it necessary to close the chapter? I would argue maybe not, but I think I get why he did it. He didn't want to ghost. He wanted to be nice, right? It was just too much.
Skylar says, the constant diarrhea is so funny. I think this is it. I think we really wanted to leave our brand in this world of like catchphrases or mind-blowing ideas. Explosive diarrhea is what you're all going to take away.
Mind-blowing ideas just took a whole new form.
We're leaving our mark, damn it, with diarrhea.
Oh my God.
The BDE.
Skid marks all over.
BDE. Like, this will just be our safe word. If you're ever in a situation and you're not feeling safe, just be like, diarrhea. We got you covered. Wow, this conversation took a turn.
So yeah, let us know. What is the approach? Is it just say that you have diarrhea, or is it to be honest? Or to save a boyfriend at a speed dating event?
Might just be easier to say diarrhea. Damn it. Now I'm thinking about it. Why even congratulate them or thank them for complimenting you or asking you? Just say I have diarrhea. Oh my God, that would just make the world such a better place. Because even if you're lying, the other person already pictures you shitting your pants, which makes you less attractive to them anyway.
So they might not actually follow up with you.
And they're like, great. Thanks for putting that visual image in my mind.
Although, if they're still there, that might be a keeper. I don't know.
That's true. Someone who's
If you should
thick and
reevaluate, are you too quick to judge?
thin. Yes.
I will say on another note, unrelated, of course, I was not there. I don't know what the situation is. I do think speed dating is really hard to gauge, like if you're into
is.
someone. So
It is.
I would say if you are speed dating and you are maybe even to like a little unsure of them, maybe it's the hard maybe of just, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, the hard maybe. The hard maybe. Yeah.
Like, what's a date? Because I really don't think speed dating is a date unless it's so far off. Again, we don't know the context of this.
Yeah, like why not go on a second date? But also I've been on enough speed dating
If it's a hard
events
no,
where it's like
then
there's a lot of
sometimes-
hard no's.
Sometimes you just know.
A lot
Yeah.
of hard no's.
Yeah. We don't.
You all know
Don't
what I
know the
mean.
situation.
You
Yeah.
all know- you all been to speed dating events. You're like, I don't need the whole 5 minutes. I'm good.
I just love, okay, like speaking of cyclical, like how we're talking about at the top of this, that, you know, it's going from traditional dating one at
Yeah.
a time to let's date as many people as possible to now more going back to that mode.
Yeah.
Talk about another cyclical thing of speed dating.
I know.
I feel like for us who are elder millennials, I would rather die or go. That's a little
Wow.
intense. Okay, take it back. I'd rather go to a speed dating event. There's a lot of stuff I'd
Live
rather.
or speed dating.
Okay, that was a lot, very hyperbolical. But a lot of things I'd rather do than go to a speed dating event. To me,
Yes.
that sounds like a worse nightmare type of dating scenario. And the fact that people are actively seeking that out nowadays is mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Yes. And you know, it's every time someone asks me to go to a speed dating event with them, I'm like, you are a Gen Zer. Because to you, this is so novel. This is so new. It's so different. It's so retro. To me, this is awful. This is like the last place I want to be.
Well, it's like when apps came out, we were like, oh my God, this is so interesting. And Gen Z has been like on their phone since birth. So they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
F
they don't wanna do
this.
that.
Yeah.
I know.
Matchmaking, speed dating, all these like archaic forums. It's very fascinating.
It's like, oh my God, you have to sit there and actually talk to another human being for 5 minutes straight and you can't look at your phone? What?
okay, so tangent, Yue, have you actually ever been to speed dating?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A ton of them. Well, maybe not a ton, like 5.
I only went once and it was over COVID. And it
Okay.
was like virtual. And it was like basically they moved you from like Zoom room to room.
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
never actually done an in-person one.
Do you
It's-
want to go to a speed dating event?
No, I don't. I don't ever want to go. Even if I was single, I would not want to go. There's something that gives me like a visceral reaction to it. I don't know why. Maybe I'd like it. Who knows?
My ex actually met a girlfriend through speed dating. They dated for 2 years.
It's possible.
Yeah. He said he would have never met her if it wasn't for speed dating. So,
It's in. Speed dating is in.
I know no shade to speed dating events, but please don't invite us.
I was
We have
just thinking,
diarrhea.
like, what if you were on there and like someone got to the hot seat with you and they were just like, I can't sit here. Like, I legit have diarrhea.
I'm just like, I have to go. I really have
And
to
then
go.
you're like, fuck, they think I'm ugly. And you're like, no,
no,
I
it's legit.
actually
Yeah.
am about to shit my brains out.
My tummy really hurts. I do think about how I would want to be let down too. And the most recent example is the blind date that my friend set me up on, where we didn't even meet up in person. We were just texting, and just trying to get to meeting with this person was hard. And I just
Yeah.
want some answers. Like, are we still meeting up? You still have interest in meeting up? And then it was just like ghost, right?
That's the worst.
I
Hands
think
down.
that's the worst. I wish
Yeah.
he would have said, it's been nice chatting with you. I just don't think we don't need to meet up. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a connection. I'd rather have that. Close the damn door, close the loop,
Mhm.
than leaving me hanging, asking like, oh, are we meeting up this weekend? Like we said we would?
Yeah. And people do that in business and all sorts of things nowadays. It's
Yeah.
really bad. You gotta
Yeah.
just close the loop.
Just close the loop. Yeah. I'd rather hear the rejection than
Yeah, because then you
just-
move on.
Yes.
It doesn't occupy it anymore. You're not like, is this something? Could it be? Are we still like going in that direction? You're just like, got my answer.
No feelings hurt because we haven't even met in person. We're just trying to
Right.
make plans, dude.
Maybe he just has continued diarrhea.
He's just That's what we're learning.
It's a very medical condition. He can't ever meet up on a date.
That's what we're learning. There's just like epidemic of explosive diarrhea happening in daters between ages of 25 to 45.
That is revealed in our study. I'm just kidding. No, it's not.
Very scientific study. Oh, yeah. No. The gut biome. It's affecting our dating lives.
Okay. We're going to end before we go loopy.
We're going to stop. Thank you for those of you who tuned in on YouTube for our first ever Q&A live. And we're going to continue doing this if you like it, even if just one of you joins. We're happy.
Yeah. And of course, listen on the podcast as normal. It's our Sunday episode that goes out. It's our brunch talk that we love to hear people, listening as they're eating brunch. And it's like we're there with them. I'm sure this episode is going to be very, very good while you're eating. So sorry for that.
Nice pairing to your delicious meal.
Hopefully you got a good laugh.
Julie, I'm thinking we should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode.
Maybe.
Trigger. Explosive diarrhea.
Explosive things might happen. Just leave it vague.
It's like instead of the explicit symbol,
explosive.
It's just like explosive.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, make sure to subscribe. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find us. And of course, come to @Dateable Podcast on Instagram so you can participate in our polls. We love doing them. We will continue and do more of them too.
And get our book, howtobedateable.com. Take the quiz online. What's your dating archetype? Then the more people who take it, the more we can have these conversations. We can be like, are you a thinker? Are you a maverick? Are you an achiever? And then we can have more funny discussions like inside jokes.
And we will also drop it in the YouTube comments. And it's also in our show notes if you're listening on the podcast form.
Sure is. It's been a wild ride. Thanks all.
See you next week.
Bye.